I started work at Iron Colliery in 1956. After training, I went underground on the haulage supplying material to the coal faces. After a short time I went pony driving, which was a new experience for me because I'd never been close to an animal and I weren't an animal lover, so it was quite difficult for me. I had to learn how to handle him and which was all a strange thing for me to do. After a short while I got a job on a coal face gearhead, which was on a conveyor from the coal face into gate, and it was difficult, hard work because you were shoveling all day. I did this for about 2 years until I did my coal face training. After my coal face training, I went in development, making new roadways, and I were in a 3-man team. We were heading through an old coal face, which was more difficult than the normal development work. It was hard, difficult work, and I enjoyed it, even though it was shovel work. And later, after that, I went in developing coal faces, making new coal faces with another team, a different team of men, 3 of us again, with a floor cutter, and that was on a shovel, and it was very dusty, low, dusty work. Quite difficult because we had to install things as we went along, as we developed. We had to extend the conveyor and all that, and take conveyor pans, transport them down, which we had to lift onto the conveyor and reverse it down to where we're working. That was very dusty, and there was hardly, further you went, we only had a thin canvas bagging hung from the roof for ventilation, and it wouldn't blow a candle out. Further you went, less air you got, and so you got quite dehydrated by when you'd finished cleaning up, shoveling the coal onto the conveyor. You were really gasping for air. We were the first in England to have this dust coal machine. It was a self-cutting and self-loading machine, and there was a 3-man team on it again. We had a photograph taken by the Derbyshire Times, and it was in the Derbyshire Times, and we had a good night out on the dust coal company's expense, which we all enjoyed. After I did my training, I went on the coal face, and I weren't very keen on working on the coal face, so I was pleased when I got in development. But in development on night shift, sometimes your mates didn't turn up for work, so you were sent anywhere that there were, because your job weren't available, because they were men short. So they sent you somewhere where they were short of men. On one occasion, they sent us on a coal face. Conditions were very bad, and we were supposed to shear 50 yards, get the supports across, and then shear another 50 yards and get another supports across from another 50 yards. And whilst we were doing this, the roof conditions were atrocious, and we were having to set wooden props on the coal face side to support the roof, what bit there were, to try and hold it while we got the supports across. These hydraulic chocks. And whilst I was setting this prop on the other side of the conveyor, the roof caved in and buried me. And I couldn't, it was too heavy for me to push up and lift it off. I couldn't lift it off. And while I was underneath there, I was frightened anymore, falling on top of that. So anyway, I could hear somebody shout, "Oh, Alan's under this lump, this is buried." So they stopped the conveyor. Well, the conveyor was already stood, but he climbed over and came and lifted this rock off my bike, and I'd dislocated my shoulder and broke a bone in my shoulder. So I took, it was my left arm, and I couldn't, with being on cold face, I couldn't stand up straight because it was only 4 foot high. And so I had to put my finger in my mouth like that and to crawl down for cold face because I couldn't move my arm till I get in into the gate where I could stand up. And so when I got into the gate, Overman said to me, "Let me have a feel," and he felt it. He says, "I think you've dislocated it." So he says, "You better go." So he put my sling on, and I caught the cars and went to the ambulance room, and they sent me to hospital, and I was off about 2 months after with that because I couldn't get my arm with the broken bone. I couldn't get my arm above shoulder height, so it took a long time to get it right.